Risk assessment and management in regulatory compliance for European financial data spaces. In the dynamically changing world of finance, it is crucial for businesses operating in the European financial data spaces to ensure that they effectively manage and assess risks. Regulatory compliance plays a significant role in mitigating risks and protecting the interests of both the businesses and their clients. In this tutorial, we will explore the concept of risk assessment and management within the context of regulatory compliance in European financial data spaces. Understanding risk assessment. Risk assessment is the process of identifying, analyzing, and evaluating potential risks that an organization may face. By understanding the risks associated with their operations, businesses can make informed decisions and implement appropriate risk management strategies. In the context of regulatory compliance, risk assessment allows organizations to identify non-compliance risks and take measures to address them. Identify risks. The first step in risk assessment is to identify the potential risks that an organization may face. This can be done through various methods such as reviewing historical data, conducting interviews with relevant stakeholders, and analyzing industry trends. It is important to consider both external risks, such as changes in regulations, and internal risks, such as inadequate internal controls. Analyze risks. Once the risks are identified, they need to be analyzed to determine their potential impact on the organization. This involves assessing the likelihood of the risk occurring and the potential severity of its consequences. The analysis can be qualitative or quantitative, depending on the nature of the risk and the available data. Evaluate risks. In the evaluation stage, the risks are ranked based on their significance, considering their likelihood and impact. This enables organizations to prioritize their efforts and allocate resources to address the most critical risks first. By evaluating risks, organizations can develop a clear understanding of the potential consequences of non-compliance and take appropriate actions. Risk management in regulatory compliance. Risk management involves implementing strategies and measures to mitigate and control identified risks effectively. In the context of regulatory compliance, risk management focuses on ensuring compliance with applicable laws, regulations, and industry standards. Establish internal controls. Internal controls are policies and procedures put in place to ensure that organizations meet their objectives while complying with regulations. These controls can be preventive or detective, and they play a crucial role in preventing or detecting non-compliance issues. Examples of internal controls include segregation of duties, regular audits, and documented processes. Develop risk mitigation strategies. Based on the identified risks, organizations need to develop strategies to mitigate and manage those risks effectively. This involves implementing controls, adopting best practices, and developing contingency plans. Risk mitigation strategies should be tailored to the specific risks faced by the organization and align with regulatory requirements. Monitor and review. Risk management is an ongoing process that requires regular monitoring and review. Organizations should establish mechanisms to track changes in regulations, identify emerging risks, and assess the effectiveness of their risk management strategies. This can be done through periodic risk assessments, internal audits, and continuous monitoring. Integrating risk assessment and management in regulatory compliance to achieve regulatory compliance in European financial data spaces. Organizations need to integrate risk assessment and management into their compliance frameworks. This ensures that compliance efforts are focused on addressing the most critical risks and are aligned with regulatory requirements. Risk-based compliance approach. By adopting a risk-based compliance approach, organizations can efficiently allocate resources and prioritize compliance efforts. This involves identifying high-risk areas, developing specific compliance controls, and monitoring those areas more closely. A risk-based approach allows organizations to focus on the areas of highest impact and criticality, reducing the risk of non-compliance. Compliance risk register. Maintaining a compliance risk register helps organizations track and manage compliance risks effectively. This register should include a comprehensive list of identified risks, their impact, and the controls implemented or planned to mitigate them. Regular updates to the risk register ensure that new risks are captured and existing risks are reassessed. Training and awareness. To effectively manage risks, organizations need to ensure that their employees are aware of compliance requirements and understand their roles in mitigating risks. Regular training programs on compliance and risk management can help create a culture of compliance and empower employees to identify and report potential compliance issues. In conclusion, risk assessment and management are vital components of regulatory compliance in European financial data spaces. By effectively identifying, analyzing, and evaluating risks, organizations can develop strategies to mitigate those risks and ensure compliance with applicable regulations. Integrating risk assessment and management into compliance frameworks helps organizations prioritize their efforts and allocate resources effectively. Moreover, the adoption of a risk-based approach and the maintenance of a compliance risk register enable organizations to stay ahead of the evolving regulatory landscape and protect themselves and their clients from non-compliance issues.